I asked Jonathan Schanzer, he's VP of Research at Defend Democracy. Jonathan, we've seen Yemen called a humanitarian crisis for months or a few years now, depending on what you've been watching and listening to. What do you think the situation is at this moment? Because it looks to me like the human toll is just devastating.
The human toll is very difficult to stomach. It is an incredibly difficult war to watch, primarily because what you have is basically a stalemate. The people of Yemen are caught right now in the crossfire between basically Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates on one side, the Iranians on the other. And the U.S. would like nothing more than to end this war, but I think we want to do it on terms that would ensure that Iran doesn't stay entrenched there, and it's not clear how that's going to get done. That's why the war continues to drag out.
We've seen the UK recently call for this to come to an end, to stop this. Do you think that will make any difference?
I don't think that the UK has the kind of sway here to push the war to an end. I do believe that it is probably the United States, the country that has the best relationship with the Saudis and the Emiratis. I think it's really the United States that can get this done. The problem right now is that we need to figure out a soft landing for the Emiratis and the Saudis. We need to figure out a way where they can leave the country and save face. And I think, again, more importantly, ensure that Iran does not have a foothold, or at least a significant foothold in the country, to be able to fire rockets into Saudi airspace.
Does the U.S. have a giant incentive to get out of here when we know that people like the Saudis are using weapons that we're selling to them, and our companies in this country make a whole lot of money?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the amount of weaponry that we're selling, I think, is probably not the real point right now. The thing that Congress has been focused on first and foremost has been to halt the aerial refueling operations that we've been providing to the Saudis, because there's a kinetic element to that. And that, I think, the optics are just really bad. And it's for that reason that Congress has pulled the plug on that.
The Saudi-Iran conflict on so many different fronts and locations seems intractable. And then you see their proxy groups there, like the Houthi rebels in Yemen, who have said, we will go down dying, blowing everything up and killing anyone we have to. And it seems that this is just yet another place where there is no solution.
I think you can certainly arrive at that conclusion. But I also think that the other way to look at it is that we are in a long struggle with the Iranians, that they have hegemonic designs on the Middle East. They would like to dominate the entire region. We've been able to successfully push back on some of this, but not all of it. I think the Iranians have made it very painful for us and for anyone else who would like to challenge them. And we've got to figure out a way of defeating them, whether it be through a combination of sanctions, diplomacy, military. All these things need to be part of our long-term strategy. And I think it's for that reason, even though many would like to just kind of toss Saudi Arabia aside and chastise them for what happened in the consulate in Istanbul and tell them that they're fighting this war in the wrong way, we can't quite let go of them until we figure out how to handle the Iranian problem long-term.